question number 1. Let's talk about how the body ages and how you as a provider work differently with clients based on age. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. So Amy, I'm going to start with you in terms of answering that question.
So I work mostly with women, and as women know, throughout the life cycle, our hormones fluctuate and our needs and our experiences change with those fluctuating hormones. So an endurance athlete who, a childbearing age, utilizes carbohydrates, fats, and protein to a different degree than a woman who is perimenopausal or postmenopausal. And so when I'm working with women, I look at these and factor their hormonal status and where they are at in their life cycle in how I approach their nutrition for their training. And even cycling women of childbearing age who are on birth control have different, like they utilize their fuel differently than women who are not on birth control. And these are things that don't get talked about in books and Runner's World and things like that. And so a lot of women are training based upon research basically done on college age men. And we're quite different than men 18 to 22. So a lot of what I do is help women fuel themselves for their sport, for where they are at in their life, because that changes as we age.
All right, I'm going to hand it over to Dr. Lakoven and let him answer that same question. So how do you work with clients and athletes in terms of...
I like the saying, genetics loads the gun, lifestyle pulls the trigger. So I like to look at the genetics in the sense of what can I do to optimize somebody's genetics. And I like to use the acronym SPEED. So when it comes to aging, stress and inflammation is a big aspect of things. So how do we modulate those things with speed? The first thing would be sleep. You get optimal amount of sleep. You know how much sleep you need? 7 to 9 hours, probably a little bit more if you're training. The next thing would be P, psychological stress. So how can we manipulate things in your environment to help with stress? It could be supplements, it could be meditation, it could be acupuncture. Environmental. So there are environmental things you're exposed to in the environment. They're called obesogens or endocrine disrupting chemicals. These are found in your self-care products, toothpaste, paints, things like that that we're exposed to. So how can we mitigate those things? And I like to point my patients to the environmental working group. They have a good website. You can check that out. They have an app called Skin Neat. Next thing would be exercise. So how to optimize exercise specifically with creating a needs analysis and looking at what your goals are and how to take you from one place where you are to get to those goals by looking at your training habits, making sure that you're not overtraining. And then D for diet. So specifically with endurance athletes, looking at the 3 R's, rehydrating, making sure that you're getting adequate nutrition, specifically carbohydrates for fueling, and protein afterwards. Endurance athletes sometimes think they might not need as much protein, but the research is showing that at least 1.6 grams per kilogram body weight is important to maintain lean body mass and as well as to fuel recovery. And that would be it. A good start.
I have a follow-up question on the 3 R's. Do you do much difference in terms of somebody who is in their 20s versus somebody in their 60s with those 3 R's?
So a lot is based on weight, okay, in terms of like your carbohydrate. So certainly somebody who's in their 50s or 40s would need more protein. So they're showing that somebody like who's younger could get away with maybe 20 grams per serving, or somebody who's older, maybe 40. So we're looking at maybe a higher need of macronutrients. So it's usually kind of individually tailored. So what's going on with a specific individual, age might be part of it, gender is going to be part of it, lifestyle is going to be part of it, things like that.
Thank you.